Greetings, everyone. My name is Udina Lianilio Carion, on my first year, taking up my master's in business administration, major in human resource management and development. I'm here to talk about Part 4, Business Ethics and Corporate Social Responsibility. Before we start, these are our learning objectives. At the end of this session, the Master Ranzi will be able to first, define business ethics and corporate social responsibility and determine their importance in an organization. Second, identify and explain how the moral principles of business guide a company, ensuring that business decisions prioritize the welfare and dignity of workers above mere profit considerations. And lastly, determine how the moral principles of business are backed up by the Constitution, Republic Acts, laws, and social initiatives, encouraging accountability, compliance with laws, and ethical business practices that reduce corruption and misconduct. To start, let's define business ethics and corporate social responsibility. According to Crane and Matten in 2016, business ethics is the application of moral principles and standards to the conduct and decision-making of individuals and organizations in the business environment, ensuring fair, honest, and respectful conduct toward all stakeholders, including employees, customers, investors, and the community. Business ethics encompasses issues such as corporate social responsibility, ethical decision-making, transparency, and integrity. According to Carroll in 1999, corporate social responsibility refers to an organization's commitment to operate ethically and contribute to sustainable economic development while improving the quality of life of the workforce, their families, the local community, and society at large. CSR involves integrating social, environmental, and economic concerns in business operations and interactions with stakeholders. Now that we have clearly defined business ethics and corporate social responsibility, let's move on to the moral principles of business. The first moral principle: human dignity in the priority of labor over capital in the Philippine context. The principle of the priority of labor over capital emphasizes that people matter more than profit. In the Philippine setting, this is deeply rooted in the Constitution, labor laws, and social justice principles that affirm the dignity of workers as the true creators of wealth. So, what are the key foundations in the Philippines? First, it is a constitutional mandate. The 1987 Philippine Constitution, Article 2, Section 18 states, "The state affirms labor as a primary social economic force. It shall protect the rights of workers and promote their welfare." This means labor, or human work, is not just another factor of production. It holds primacy over capital because it involves human dignity. Second, it is emphasized in the Labor Code of the Philippines. The Labor Code, under Presidential Decree 442 as amended, emphasizes protection to labor by regulating wages, working conditions, and employment security. Article 3 states that the state shall afford protection to labor, promote full employment, ensure equal work opportunities regardless of sex, race, or creed. Third, it is a social justice tradition. The Philippine legal framework prioritizes labor as part of social justice, ensuring that economic gains are not concentrated in the hands of a few capital owners, but shared with workers who are essential to production. This is being stated in the Constitution, Article 13, Section 3, that the state shall afford full protection to labor, local and overseas, organized and unorganized. And fourth, it comes from the influence of Catholic social teaching, or CST. In a predominantly Catholic country like the Philippines, papal teachings shape labor principles. Pope John Paul II in Laborem Exercens 1981 stressed that labor is always more important than capital because the human person is the subject of work, while capital is only an instrument. What are the ethical implications? Human dignity comes first. The worker is not a tool for profit, but a human being with rights, needs, and aspirations. Capital serves labor. Money, technology, and resources should be directed toward human development and the common good. Just distribution. The wealth generated by business must prioritize just wages, humane conditions, and worker welfare before profit maximization. The second moral principle, respect for basic employee rights in the Philippine context. Respecting employee rights in the Philippines is both a moral obligation and a legal mandate. Rooted in the principle of human dignity enshrined in the Philippine Constitution, labor laws ensure that employees are treated fairly, protected from exploitation, and provided with just working conditions. What are the core employee rights in the Philippines? First is the right to just and humane conditions of work. This means that workers have the right to safe and humane working conditions. This is stated in Article 13, Section 3 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution, saying that the state shall afford full protection to labor. Second is the right to security of tenure. This means that employees cannot be dismissed without just or authorized cause, and due process must be observed. Labor Code of the Philippines under Article 294, Section 279 provides protection against unjust termination. Third is the right to a living wage and just compensation. This means that employers must provide just wages that meet the basic needs of workers and their families. This is stated in Article 13, Section 3 of the Philippine Constitution and also in Article 97 of the Labor Code. Fourth is the right to self-organization and collective bargaining. This means that workers have the right to form unions, join labor organizations, and negotiate with employers. This is stated in Article 253 of the Labor Code and Article 13, Section 3 of the Philippine Constitution. Fifth is the right to rest days, holidays, and leave benefits. This means that employees must be granted proper rest, holidays, and leave benefits, which includes service incentive leave, maternity or paternity leave. And this is stated in Articles 91 to 97 of the Labor Code and also on the Republic Act 11210 under Expanded Maternity Leave Law of 2019. And lastly is the right to equal work opportunities. This means that workers must not be discriminated against on the basis of gender, religion, or other status. This is stated in Article 135 of the Labor Code, Anti-Discrimination in Employment of Women, and Magna Carta of Women as stated in Republic Act 9710 of 2009. So what is the ethical meaning? In the Philippine setting, respect for employee rights is seen as an extension of social justice, ensuring that economic progress benefits both employers and workers. It is also a way to uphold Filipino values of dignity and fairness, recognizing that work is not just for survival, but also for human development. It is also supported by Catholic social teaching, which is influential in the Philippines, and stresses the dignity of work and rights of workers, as stated in Laborem Exercens 1981. The third moral principle, social justice in the Philippine context. Social justice in the Philippines is a moral and constitutional principle that ensures fairness in the distribution of resources, opportunities, and protection for the marginalized. It recognizes that those who have less in life should have more in law, reflecting the value of human dignity and equity in society. So what are the key foundations in the Philippines? This is a constitutional mandate as stated in Section 10, Article 2 of the Philippine Constitution. The state shall promote social justice in all phases of national development. And this is also stated in Article 13, Section 1 of the Philippine Constitution, that Congress shall give highest priority to the enactment of measures that protect and enhance the right of all people to human dignity, reduce social, economic, and political inequalities. Labor and employment. Social justice guides labor policies to protect workers from exploitation. According to Article 3 of the Labor Code of the Philippines, the state shall afford protection to labor, promote full employment, and ensure equal work opportunities. Land reform and agrarian justice. The Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Law, or Republic Act 6657 of 1988, embodies social justice by redistributing land to farmers to reduce inequality. Equality and protection for the marginalized. Laws such as the Magna Carta for Women or Republic Act 9710 of 2009 and Indigenous Peoples' Rights Act, which is the Republic Act A371 of 1997, reflect the spirit of social justice in protecting vulnerable groups. So what is its ethical meaning? Social justice means uplifting the poor and marginalized so they can fully participate in society. It promotes the common good by balancing economic development with human dignity. And lastly, it ensures that laws and policies are not just for the powerful, but protect those who are disadvantaged. The fourth moral principle, social dimension of private property in the Philippine context. The social dimension of private property means that while individuals have the right to own property, such ownership carries a social responsibility. Property is not an absolute right. It must serve the common good and contribute to social justice. In the Philippine setting, this principle balances individual ownership with collective welfare, ensuring that resources benefit not only the few but the whole community. So what are the key foundations in the Philippines? It is stated in Article 12, Section 6 of the Philippine Constitution that the use of property bears a social function and all economic agents shall contribute to the common good. And it is also stated in Article 13, Section 1 of the Philippine Constitution that Congress shall give highest priority to the enactment of measures that reduce social, economic, and political inequalities and remove cultural inequities by equitably diffusing wealth and political power for the common good. Land reform and agrarian justice. The Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Law, or RA 6657 of 1988, is a direct application of this principle, redistributing land to farmers to correct historical injustices and promote equitable ownership. Housing and urban development. Urban Development and Housing Act, or Republic Act 7279 of 1992, reflects the social function of property by requiring landowners and the state to provide for housing needs of the underprivileged and homeless. Labor Code and Business Practices. The Labor Code under Presidential Decree 442 as amended also reflects this principle in business ownership. Employers are expected to use their capital and property not just for profit, but also for providing jobs and protecting the dignity of workers. Catholic social teaching influence. Pope Leo XIII's Rerum Novarum in 1891 and Pope John Paul II's Laborem Exercens 1981 stressed that property rights are legitimate but must serve the universal destination of goods. This moral teaching strongly influences Philippine laws and policies. So what is the ethical meaning? Ownership is stewardship. Property must be managed not just for personal gain, but for the benefit of others. Common good over absolute ownership. If property use harms society or ignores the poor, it violates its moral and social purpose. Balance between rights and duties. The right to own property is matched by the duty to ensure it contributes to reducing inequality. The fifth moral principle, option for the bottom of the pyramid in the Philippine context. The option for the bottom of the pyramid, or BOP, also known as the preferential option for the poor, is a moral principle that calls for prioritizing the needs, rights, and dignity of the poorest and most vulnerable members of society. In the Philippine context, where poverty and inequality remain major challenges, this principle guides policies, businesses, and social programs to ensure that the benefits of development are shared with those at the margins. So what are the key foundations in the Philippines? According to Article 2, Section 9 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution, the state shall promote a just and dynamic social order that will ensure the prosperity and independence of the nation and free the people from poverty. It is also stated in Article 13, Section 1, that the Congress shall give highest priority to the enactment of measures that protect and enhance the right of all the people to human dignity, reduce social, economic, and political inequalities. Social justice and labor laws. The Labor Code, under Presidential Decree 442 as amended, prioritizes protection for workers, particularly those in vulnerable and low-income sectors. Republic Act 10963, or the Tax Reform for Acceleration and Inclusion, or the TRAIN Law, in 2017 provides tax relief for low-income earners to help ease the burden of poverty. We also have the poverty alleviation programs, the Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program, or 4Ps, under Republic Act 11310 of 2019, institutionalizes conditional cash transfers to poor families, reflecting the state's preferential option for the poor. Business and development perspective. The concept of the bottom of the pyramid, according to Prahalad in 2004, inspires inclusive business models in the Philippines where companies develop affordable products, services, and livelihood opportunities that benefit low-income communities. Catholic social teaching influence. The Philippines, being predominantly Catholic, reflects this principle in governance and civil society. The Church teaches that the poor deserve priority attention because they are the most affected by social injustice, according to Compendium of the Social Doctrine of Church in 2004. So what is its ethical meaning? First is priority of the poor. Policies and business decisions should focus on uplifting those at the margins. Second, empowerment, not dependency. The goal is to give the poor access to opportunities, education, and resources so they can participate fully in society. And third, human dignity as central. The poorest are not burdens but partners in building a just and prosperous nation. The sixth moral principle, Earth responsibility, green business, and sustainable development in the Philippine context. The principle of Earth responsibility recognizes that humans are stewards, not owners of creation. Businesses and governments have the moral duty to protect the environment, promote sustainability, and ensure that development today does not compromise the well-being of future generations. In the Philippine context, where environmental degradation and climate risk are pressing issues, this principle is embedded in constitutional mandates, laws, and policies on green business and sustainable development. So what are the key foundations in the Philippines? As stated in Article 2, Section 16 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution, the state shall protect and advance the right of the people to a balanced and healthful ecology in accord with the rhythm and harmony of nature. This enshrines environmental responsibility as a right and duty of both state and citizens. Sustainable development laws and programs. We have Republic Act 8749, or the Clean Air Act of 1999, which promotes air quality management. We also have Republic Act 9003, or the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act of 2000, which mandates proper waste management and recycling. We also have Republic Act 9275, or the Clean Water Act of 2004, which protects water bodies from pollution. We also have Republic Act 9512, or the Environmental Awareness and Education Act of 2008, which integrates environmental education in the curricula. We also have Republic Act 9729, or the Climate Change Act of 2009, which mainstreams climate change adaptation and mitigation into national and local policies. And we also have Republic Act 10121, or the Philippine Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Act of 2010, which focuses on resilience and disaster preparedness. Green business in the Philippines. So we have the Philippine Green Jobs Act of 2016, or the RA 10771, which promotes environmentally sustainable industries and provides incentives to enterprises that generate green jobs. We also have the Philippine Renewable Energy Act, or RA 9513 of 2008, which supports the development of clean and renewable energy resources. International and ethical influences. The Philippines supports the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, particularly SDG 12, Responsible Consumption and Production, and SDG 13, Climate Action. Pope Francis's Laudato Si in 2015 strongly influences Philippine discourse, emphasizing care for the environment as part of respecting human dignity. So what is its ethical meaning? First, stewardship of creation. The earth is a shared home. Exploitation for profit without regard for consequences is unjust. Second, business with a conscience. Green business models balance profit with sustainability, ensuring resources for future generations. And third, sustainable development. True progress uplifts people while preserving ecosystems, prioritizing long-term welfare over short-term gains. Moving on, let's proceed with application in the workplace. How can companies apply these 6 moral principles of business in their own organization? Human dignity in the priority of labor over capital. Companies can prioritize employee welfare by offering fair salaries, safe conditions, and opportunities for growth before focusing on profit maximization. Jollibee Foods Corporation, or JFC, is known for investing in employee training and career development programs. Jollibee Group Foundation's Farmer Entrepreneurship Program showing that people are prioritized as partners in growth rather than mere workers. Respect for basic employee rights. Employers should comply with labor laws, example fair wages, rest days and benefits, and uphold equal treatment free from discrimination or harassment. Business process outsourcing, or BPO companies like Concentrix and JP Morgan and Chase Company enforce strict compliance with DOLE labor standards, including proper wages, health benefits, and rest days. Many also provide wellness programs to protect employee health. Social justice. Businesses can implement policies that reduce inequality, such as inclusive hiring, fair promotion systems, and community outreach programs. The Kadiwa ng Pangulo program, supported by local cooperatives and LGUs, provides affordable goods to consumers while ensuring that farmers and small producers get fair prices for their produce, reducing economic inequality. Social dimension of private property. Companies should use their resources responsibly, allocating part of their profits to CSR projects, community development, or affordable services for the public. Ayala Land allocates a portion of its land for socialized housing and public spaces, balancing profit with public welfare. This reflects the constitutional mandate that property must serve a social function. Option for the bottom of the pyramid. Organizations can create affordable products, livelihood opportunities, and services that directly benefit low-income communities, empowering them instead of exploiting them. Example is Globe Telecom's Globe for Education and GCash microfinance programs give underserved communities access to digital services, financial inclusion, and affordable learning platforms. These initiatives empower low-income groups rather than excluding them. Lastly, Earth responsibility, green business, and sustainable development. Workplaces can adopt eco-friendly practices such as waste reduction, energy conservation, and sustaining sources while promoting a green culture among employees. Example is the SM Supermall runs the SM Green Movement, which includes energy efficient buildings, solar panel installations, and disaster resilient infrastructure. In conclusion, the moral principles of business ethics and corporate social responsibility collectively serve as guiding values for business and corporate governance in the Philippine context. They remind us that economic progress must never come at the expense of human dignity, fairness, and the environment. Labor must be valued over profit, employee rights must be respected, and social justice must address inequality and protect the marginalized. Likewise, property ownership carries a social duty. The poor must remain at the center of development, and businesses must embrace sustainability for future generations. Taken together, these principles highlight that true development is holistic. It balances economic growth with social equity, human dignity, and environmental stewardship, ensuring that business and society advance hand in hand toward the common good. That ends my report. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day. Bye.